Welcome to another one of our webinars. And so I'll be moderating and just kind of helping with any kind of technical stuff in the background, letting people join in. Some people haven't gotten the link or they don't really know where it is. And so at the same time, I'll be helping with questions at the end. So Stephen is going to give us a presentation here. He's going to talk about, his knowledge with film festivals. And he's also going to be open for Q&As afterwards. So what you want to know, at least, as an intro about Steven, is he's an award-winning actor, writer, originally from, as you may have heard earlier right now, from Fort Worth. So, he knows our area. If you're from the area, he knows, the DFW community, or at least is from this area. So that's pretty nice. But, he is an actor. He is a writer. Steven just has a lot of knowledge. If you look at his bio, like, it'll kind of take you like kind of back about all the different awards and opportunities that he's gotten. So really savvy, really knowledgeable, and I think it's really exciting that he's going to be here and sharing us all this information with us. So with that said, I'll let Steven kind of take it from here and be able to let Steven, you want to tell us a little more about you as well, and you can begin with the presentation.
Okay, thank you, Alex, and thank you so much for Dallas Filmmakers Alliance for having me and letting me impart my knowledge and all that to you guys. I hope everyone's doing okay during this pandemic crazy time. It's really kind of ironic that we're talking about networking at film festivals in the middle of all this crazy crisis when so many film festivals are now online and so many things have shut down, which is so unfortunate, theaters and movies and all that. It's but anyway, we as artists, we always have to forge ahead, whether we're screenwriters, whether we're actors, whether we're in plays, whether we're in movies, whether we're directors. We all have to forge ahead with our art. So that's the hopeful part of all this. And I hope you guys will get some benefit out of what I have to say about networking at film festivals, because that's sort of what I have been working on in the past couple of years, the past 3 years. The past 3 years, my partner Chuck Pelletier and I wrote and he wrote it and directed it, and I starred in a little comedy short called That's Opportunity Knocking. And we spent the last 3.5 years on the road, literally on the road, at film festivals. And we actually ended up winning 24 awards at various film festivals. And I luckily ended up winning 5 Best Supporting Actor awards for my performance in That's Opportunity Knocking. So that's just a little encapsulation of me and what I've been doing in the past 3.5 years. But I do want to say that it's very exciting to be back in Dallas, because I'm actually from Bedford, Texas. So it feels good to be back to my old stomping ground. I actually went to LD Bell High. I went to TCJC, but I wish I had known about the Dallas Filmmakers Alliance. I wish when I was back in college and in high school that I knew anything about filmmaking and about Dallas, because I didn't know anything about film. I actually studied theater at TCJC. Then we moved to Long Beach, and then I moved to Hollywood, where I became a writer and an actor. So believe me, it's a long road from Bedford, Texas to Hollywood. So it's really been a long journey, but it's suddenly become rewarding over the past couple of years. And I am a writer, I'm an actor, and I'm also a teacher. I teach a course called Awakening the Actor Within, based on the book that I wrote. But that's kind of irrelevant, because I want to talk to you guys about film festivals primarily. today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk for maybe about 30 to 45 minutes until you guys all, I see you all falling asleep, and then I'll open it up to Q&A. So this is all based on my experience. It's not the be all end all of film festivals or how you work a film festival. It's the tips that I've picked up along the way. So with that, I'm going to get started with my lecture. Okay. So when I was working in a small production of a show that my friend wrote for me, a theater piece called Seven Dreams of Falling. One of the actors in that show, Thomas Annewalt, we were in a bar after one of the performances. He told a story about his apartment being robbed in New York. And my partner Chuck said, that'd be a great idea for a short film. Can I use it? And so Thomas said, sure, if you put me in the film. So we ended up making this little comedy short. It's a screwball comedy, 22 minutes, called That's Opportunity Knocking. And through things that happen, and I know this might happen to a lot of you filmmakers out there, and I hope it doesn't, but for some reason, like many projects, it got put on the shelf for about 2 years. And we didn't know what to do with it. We were just we filmed it, and it was just kind of out there, like many projects. It's like you complete something, you put your heart and soul into it, and then it just kind of flounders. And I was working at a day job, and one of my coworkers came in and said, there's this new thing called Film Freeway, and you can enter your film into film festivals for free. And I kind of just said, that's kind of cool. And I immediately got the idea to put our film, That's Opportunity Knocking, into film festivals. And now let me just tell you a little bit. As an actor, I had gone to about 4 film festivals in little indie projects that had been, people had gotten the film into film festivals, just small stuff. But none of them none of them ever really took off, and I never did any of the producing of it. So I had to learn a whole new skill set with film festivals. And what happened is I started reading a lot of books, doing a lot of research. I had to learn how to put everything online, the film. And what ended up happening is I read this great book called The Complete Filmmaker's Guide to Film Festivals. And in it, she says, the real work begins once the film is in the can. And that quote really struck me because it really was the epitome of what I had seen so many artists do. Use all of their time, money, and energy into creating the project, creating the material, the screenplay, but not having the tools and the resources to go to the next level, which is actually putting it out into the world. And so what had happened is through going to these film festivals, I opened up a whole new career for myself, which was so exciting because what I had done as an actor was it was like all actors. You go to auditions, you get a part. Sometimes that film is released, sometimes it's not. Sometimes you get dropped by your agent, which actually happened to me. So I was doing all these actor things, and so I had to don a different cap, a producer's cap for the film festivals. And it opened up a whole new world for me as an actor and as a producer, because I got to really see the nuts and bolts of what it takes to put your art out there. And believe me, I used to believe that it was about talent. And I used to believe that someone would magically find my talent, my art, my screenplay, and move me to the next level. And what I learned on the film festival circuit is that's not the case. It is always persistent, continual, organized work. And that's the knowledge that I'm going to try to impart today with what networking at a film festival really is. Now, the first film festival that I went to as an actor was a huge film festival. It was the Palm Springs International Film Festival. One of my films that I was a feature in, called Hidden Hills, actually got into that film festival, and it was huge. And as an actor, I got to go there and pass out cards and get to know people, and I got a little taste of film festivals in a big way. But what happened when I put That's Opportunity knocking into film festivals, it's like I lit a match on a stick of dynamite, because this little comedy short took off, and it took me by surprise. We started submitting in May of 2016, and almost within a month, we started winning awards. Now, at the beginning, we were very happy just to be in the film festival, just to get the laurel, just to be a part of it. And we actually started, once we started winning awards, it started to become very, it was more passionate, and we started to put more energy behind it, because we knew we were onto something. Now, my partner Chuck and I have been in theater. We had been in other people's projects for many, many years in Hollywood, and none of them took off as fast as this did. But it wasn't a fluke, and it wasn't by chance. It was because we got down in the groove and we started doing the work. And the work is the showing up to the film festivals, getting to know people at film festivals, networking film festival to film festival. We ended up, like I said, we ended up with 24 awards, and we ended up going to Poland. We ended up going to Amsterdam. We ended up going to London, to Nice. We went to the Cannes Film Festival. We weren't in the Cannes Film Festival. I don't want to lead you astray. We weren't in it, but we actually got to go, which was fabulous, because I found I had access to more connections in Cannes Film Festival than we actually did in Hollywood. People were all there. They were all in booths. They couldn't go anywhere. So you actually had direct access to all these wonderful people at the Cannes Film Festival that you didn't have access to even in Hollywood. And I live here. So it was actually a very exciting time to be out on the film festival market, and to be out there and putting our film out there. What had happened, what we started to do is I started, when I started promoting the show or promoting it at film festivals, submitting it to film festivals, I actually went back to all the film festivals that I had attended as an actor. And I said, hi, I have a short film. Let us in your film festival. None of them did. None of my contacts panned out in that arena. None of them accepted our film. So I had to kind of start from scratch. And I started with the big ones. I started with Cannes. I started with South by Southwest. I started with Sundance. I started with all the biggies, like I'm sure any filmmaker in this Zoom would do. You want your film, hopefully, to get into one of the big ones. But we were not accepted at any of the big ones. Because once again, it's not always about the quality of the work, it's about who you know. And certainly at those big film festivals, I don't want this to sound ugly or contrary to anything, but a lot of the studios fund films that get into the big film festivals. So if you feel discouraged that you didn't get into one of the big ones, know that you're absolutely working with people who have all the contacts, all the money, all the resources to get into like one of the big film festivals. Occasionally they'll let one squeak in, but usually a lot of that is run by studio and studio money. Not to be ugly, not to sound competitive, just to let you know that if you want to get into one of the big ones, I highly suggest you get to know people at those film festivals. And I know that may sound kind of pushy, but believe me, I'm in Hollywood. Everyone's pushy, everyone's pushing their stuff, and you have to have a little uh, backbone if you're going to get into one of the big ones. And I suggest you absolutely get out and network with those people at the big film festivals if you want to get in there before you ever submit your film blindly, because that's what every filmmaker would just kind of submit it and go, oh, please let me in. Most people don't get in because so many people in Hollywood that have connections and have gone to screenwriting expos and stuff, and they actually know people. Now, not to sound negative, but that's just the big ones. So what ended up happening is we ended up getting, we kept submitting, and we ended up getting into smaller film festivals. And one of the first film festivals that we got into was in Oakhurst, California, which is up near Yosemite. And we actually drove up there. We actually papered the town with our postcards, with our posters. And it was a tiny little town. And we met the guy who ran the theater. And one of the main people that we connected with was named Fernando Mico, who runs the Nova Film Fest in Virginia. And we went up there, we met him, our film won an award, and then that's when the ball started to roll, because we got into action on film. And it seemed like once we got into action on film and our film won Best Comedy Scene, and once we got into that film festival, it's like the doors started just to open because we kept submitting. And it's almost like once one domino hit, it's like they just started falling and falling and falling. And we ended up going, like I said, all over the world with this film, and 24 awards later. And I know the reason we won awards, the film is good. It's a cute, quirky comedy. And of course I'm in it, so it has to be great, right? But the reason we won so many awards is because we went to those film festivals and we worked it. We did not just go to the film festivals and say to people, oh, just come see our film. And we weren't quiet about it. We actually went to other people's films. We networked a lot. And so what I'm going to do is now I'm going to break down some of the things that we did in terms of networking and what I think is valuable in terms of networking for you guys, and just impart my knowledge of what I feel networking is and some of the tricks that I used, because it might help you. Some of them were kind of weird, and some of them worked and some of them didn't work. But there were so many different avenues that I used to network at film festivals. We did it in so many different ways. And I remember at one point we were at Action on Film, which is Del Weston's film festival. And I remember we were at one of his Q&A sessions, and he said something very profound. And he said, you know, don't be jealous and competitive of the people at these film festivals. They are not the enemy. And he turned around and he pointed to a big standee of Smurfs 2. And he said, they are the enemies, meaning the studios. And like I said, I don't want that to sound ugly, and I don't think he meant it to be ugly, but what he meant is we are dealing with people who have profound powers and profound money in the industry. And like I said earlier, the film festival market is run by, the big ones are run by the studios. And I know this because I worked for Warner Brothers in the publicity department, and they were rolling out The Disaster Artist, and they were touting that as an indie film. Well, a film starring James Franco is not an indie film. That is a big budget film, and it was a huge film. But at the time I worked at in PR, they were given that thing the full thrust at film festivals. So, like I said, it, and I think what Dale meant when he said, you know, your real competition is Smurfs too, is you're dealing with a competitive market, and a market that doesn't really want to have indie filmmakers in it for real. I mean, real indie filmmakers, people who make films on a shoestring, people who make film because they love it and they have a story to tell. That to me is indie filmmaking. And to me, that is, you know, why the Dallas Filmmakers Alliance is here to help people to make films. Because we know when you make a film and you make a project as an actor, you know, as an actor, there have been many projects that didn't go through. You want that project to live. You want it to help you. And so I think as artists, we have to use every single tool in the tool belt to help us to get our art out there, because very, very rarely does someone come along with a magic wand and a big fat paycheck and say, here you go, it's all yours. It does happen, and we know it happens. We've seen X Factor, you know, we know that these things happen, but generally it's someone behind the work doing a lot of work behind the scenes, especially if it's an indie film. So I'm going to tell you just some of the things that I did to network at film festivals. Um, First of all, what I did, because our film was in a short, it usually was done in a collection of shorts that ran for about an hour at film festivals. One of the things I did is, before we ever got to the film festival, is I got online and I found all of our filmmakers all in the same group. And I said, hey, let's all promote our films as a group together. Let's all come together at the film festival and let's all promote each other's films. And that way there's strength in numbers. There's more people promoting that block of films that hour. And they did it. And they all would promote each other's film, and we would tag each other. And that was before I ever even met most of the people at film festivals. I would actually start online a month before we got into the film festival. As soon as I found out our time and the date, I would start immediately to start to network with other film makers that were in our section. I would start to network with people online that were part of the film festival, because that's a big component of it too. It's not just the filmmakers and the actors and the crew people that you want to network with, or the producers, or any of that, or the writers. You actually want to network with the people that are actually running the film festival. And there is no crime in that. There's no shame in that. There's no, everyone does it. I mean, if you don't think people in Hollywood are kissing Robert Redford's butt to get into Sundance, you're crazy. They're all over. They are constantly making contacts. And believe me, in this type of thing, you have to get out there and you have to get to know the people behind the film festival, the people that are like helping with the film festival. You want your face to be all over the place as much as you can at those film festivals. And just as a side note, I was not even promoting myself as an actor in my movie. I was promoting the movie as a whole. And I think it was a year and a half before I won any uh, Best Supporting Actor awards. So it wasn't just like I was out there saying, hey, look at me. I'm the best actor and come see me. I was promoting the film as a whole. I was promoting my partner, Chuck. I was promoting our cast. We went to London and we won an award for the guy Mo, who plays one of the robbers in our film. We won an award for him before I ever won an award. And I felt just as giddy getting up and thanking people for my co-stars as I was for myself, because I was acting as producer of the movie at that point in the film festivals. So one of the ways is to network with your group of filmmakers if you have a short. Uh, the other way is, like I said, get to know the people at the film festivals, because the people running the film festivals know other people at other film festivals. And that's really how our domino started. It started with Fernando, then it went to Dell, and then it went to London. We got in one, and then that opened the door for other ones in Europe. And then things came back to here, and I ended up going to New York and the Fort Worth Film Festival. I mean, I was like a ping pong ball going all over the place with this film. Um, Now the other weird thing that I did, kind of out of the box, and no one told me to do this, I just kind of made it up, is when I knew that I was going to be in a certain town, I would actually send out our press release to all the little press junkets that were in those towns. Like I would go online, I'd go on Facebook, and I would find little blogs or things that people like press and newspapers or magazines, online, anything that was in that town. And I would send our press release to them, and they would give us an interview, or they would say something about the film. And that actually was so inspiring, because I ended up getting a review in the Huffington Post. I ended up getting all kinds of interviews all over the place. And all of that got put into our press kit. And, once you start building your press kit and you start putting stuff in it, it actually gives you pedigree. It gives you once you have a laurel, even, that gives you an invitation to reach out to people and say, hey, I'm in a film festival. And believe me, there are many, many people who actually dream of being filmmakers, dream of having their work out there, and never get to it. So if you've got a film, or you got a project, or you're in a film, be very thankful, especially if it's finished, because that is absolute commerce to you. That is absolute an investment. That is something that you can absolutely use. So I absolutely hit up um, every single press place of every single town that we would go to. And it's ironic that the only town that I really didn't get any press in was when we came to Fort Worth, which is funny, because I was like, I think we'd be a shoe-in, because I'm from Bedford, but we didn't get any additional press in Fort Worth. So much for my ideas. No, but it did work in other towns, which I'm very happy to report. Now the other thing is, through networking, what you want to do, you want to network through social media. You want to create a buzz around your movie. You want to create as many people to know about your movie on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you can to network that out. And I would say, if you're in a film festival, start with the people at the film festival. Start getting to know, go through the directory, go through the filmmakers, and get to know people. And then when you go to the film festival, which actually I'm a big advocate of actually showing up at the film festival. When we started this, we made it a point to show up at as many film festivals as we humanly could afford or get to. And luckily, our jobs were kind of flexible, so we could actually maneuver and go to them. Um, and we actually got to throw in a couple of vacations, to Europe. So that was kind of a good thing, a double good thing. But absolutely network on social media, network with the film festival, the people at the film festival on social media. Take pictures while you're at the film festival. Hashtag everybody. Let everybody know that you're part of the community, because you don't want to be just a standoff artist going, oh, I'm only here for myself and come see my film. I mean, there's a part of that you do want people to see you and your film, but you want to network with other filmmakers, other people at the film festival, because it is a community and it is a network that you are building, and it's a personal network. I remember at one of the film festivals, someone said, look around at all the filmmakers here, because these are going to be the people who follow you for the next 10 years at film festivals. You're going to see all these people again, unless they don't make another film. If they keep working, you're going to see all these same people again over the next 10 years. And he's right. And there are people that we've run into at film festival after film festival, and it's always a pleasure. And they've gotten to know our work, and we've gotten to know their work. And as an actor, it's a very good thing, because filmmakers now see me in the flesh. They know what I am. They know I'm 5 feet tall. I have this weird voice, and that I'm funny, which is what I could never get as an actor running around and auditioning in Hollywood. I mean, no one would ever see it. And casting director saw it, but that was all, footage that no one will ever see. I mean, with a film or a product, you absolutely have something that people can absolutely see, and you can actually use it as a calling card. And that's what I did, is I used That's Opportunity Knocking as a huge calling card. And the other thing, the big thing at film festivals, is go to the mixers, go to the Q&As. Even if you think that you have no interest in a subject, if it's there, go to it. Go to it, because you're going to find other people who are making films. You're going to get knowledge that you didn't know, and you're also going to network. That's networking. Networking is going out and meeting people. And believe me, I'd rather stay home and veg. But when you're at a film festival, that's not the time to stay in your hotel room or stay at the bar and isolate. That's the time to get out there and get to know people. And you want to go to those mixers. You want to go to the parties. You want to go to the Q&As. You want to go out there and you want to meet as many people as you can. You want to take your postcard with you. You want to take your business card with you. And you want to tell people, I'm in this film. And, sometimes people at a film festival will have missed your screening. It doesn't matter. You still keep their card, and it's still a contact. I remember when we went to Cannes Film Festival. I remember when we went to the actual market booths. I remember getting so many cards from people, and they knew why we were there. It wasn't a big mystery. I think sometimes as filmmakers or actors, we want to pretend like we're a mystery. Oh, well, I just kind of made a film and don't really look at me. No, you want people to look at you. That's why you're in this business. You're in this to have people see your work. If people don't see your work, believe me, there are 49 million people banging on the door who have no problem telling other people, I have great work. Believe me, I've been in Hollywood for probably more than all of you've been alive, but I know for a fact that there are so many people out there who have no reservations and no qualms about promoting their work. So you have to learn to do that as well. And part of that is networking, getting to know people, going to the Q&As. You'll meet distributors. Some of them will be good. Some of them will not be good. Don't take a distributor just because they like your film. Vet them. You know, we signed up with one that was no good and we dropped them, you know, because they weren't doing what we needed them to do, which is absolutely get the film out there. They're kind of sitting on it. So you're going to meet a variety of people. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of the clunkers. Don't be afraid of the ones who don't care about your work. Be vigilant about telling people about your work, and definitely go to the awards. If the festival is having an award show, go. Whether you are nominated or not, go, because you absolutely want to be in the winning circle and you want to be around that energy. You know, it's all about energy. You want to be around the filmmaking energy because that'll help you to create more and more work and inspire you to get out there and put the work out there. And the final point that I want to make is connect. Connect with other filmmakers. As an actor, nothing served my career better than there was a website that one of my students told me about called Stage 32, where it's all creative people. And you want to go out there and you want to meet people. You want to absolutely meet other actors. You want to meet other filmmakers, because another filmmaker, even though they made a film and you've made a film, it looks like you're in competition. Well, they may know someone who's going to help you with the thing that you need help on in your film. They may know a cinematographer. They may know a sound person who will give you a better rate than, you know, calling someone, you know, finding someone online and them charging you $1 million. I mean, people who've made films will absolutely help you make your film, but you've got to be out there and you've got to be in that same groove with them. And that's the value of networking at film festivals. You know, when we were there, we absolutely would not just go and watch someone's film. We would get to know the filmmaker. We'd meet them in the bar. We'd have drinks with them. I remember sitting in London at one point with a group of filmmakers, and we had seen their film, they had seen our film, and we talked about how we got it made and the struggles. And that was so refreshing to hear, not just someone's success. Oh, Stephen won 24 awards. Well, so what? I mean, if I won 24 awards, that's not going to help anyone unless I'm able to tell them how I got those awards, you know? And when we were sitting there in London and all these filmmakers were saying, I had the struggle of doing this, I had the CGI thing, or my cinematographer was no good, or my sound guy stunk, or I really had trouble even getting the finances for the second part of the film, you know, but I did, and it's here, and I'm so happy that I'm at the film. You learn what other filmmakers have and what their struggles were. And that's good. That is a good thing, because absolutely, you know what it does? It takes the mystery out of it. It takes the woo-woo, it's magic, you know, it's all Hollywood. And it takes that out of it, because you're absolutely working around people who are workers, not just people who are talkers. Nothing makes me hotter than a filmmaker who's a talker. I'm gonna make a film, or a screenplay writer. I'm gonna be a screenwriter. Well, what have you written? Nothing. I'm gonna be a filmmaker. What have you made? Nothing. Have you done one shot? No. I mean, if you're at a film festival, you're with people who absolutely have put something together, and that is a great thing. You want to hang around those people because they will inspire you. All the film festivals we went to, we won 24 awards, but we were literally in over 50 film festivals. Some of them we couldn't even go to. So get to know the actors, get to know the filmmakers, get to know the crews, get to know everyone connected with any film, because they're going to help you. And if you're struggling to make your film, you can call. I mean, I remember when we were distributing That's Opportunity Knocking, and I remember I didn't know how to get the closed captions that we needed, and I had no idea. And I actually emailed Fernando way back in the day. I said, Fernando, how do you do that? And he said, oh, well, let me contact you with Matt. Matt will show you how to do it. And I'll be goddamned if this guy Matt didn't tell me how to do something. And I mean, that saved me hours and hours and dollars. So it's through networking, that's how you get your film out there, and it's how you get it made. And now that things are closed down and the film festivals are all online, this is actually a good opportunity, because you can actually network. If you've got your film made, you can actually submit it and have it online, and you can enter some of these film festivals online, and you can network with all these people online, which is great, because it doesn't cost you a dime. You do it all on the computer, which is wonderful. And as an actor, you know, all things are going now digital, you know, to where you're doing auditions on Zoom and self tape. That's a great thing. You don't have to drive around. You know, LA. You know, I live in LA. It's a huge town. You could spend all day going from here to Santa Monica and back, and that's your whole day for 2 lines on an audition. You know, so being online is a good thing. Use the tools, use them. So that's all of my spiel. That's all I have to say about networking. I will open this up now to Q&A, or as I call it, song and dance.
Yeah, so okay, so we have someone
Here's
raising their hand. Matt Martinez, go ahead.
Yeah, so I have some. I haven't taken a production class in SMU yet, so I don't have like quality films yet. But I have films I've done at home, like one on my phone and some with my brother with the camera we have. Should I also submit those to film festivals, even if like they're not great?
absolutely. If you feel like they have some kind of quality, absolutely
They do.
submit them. They have actually go on to Film Freeway, and they actually have film festivals that are just for stuff made by a cell phone.
Yeah, yeah. Like I have one 30-second one on my cell phone.
Well,
So yeah.
submit it. I mean,
Okay, cool.
what harm can it do? Someone can look at it and go, oh, it's awful. Well, that's the chance you take sometimes. As an actor, I put stuff online. I put something on a website a couple of weeks ago. Someone emailed me and said, oh my God, that is so horrible. And he like gave me the riot act. And I'm like, well, you're not interested in my work. Well, I'm probably not interested in yours. So, you know, it's, if you believe it has validity, and, you know, it could open the door for you. Someone may see that and go, that's a really interesting idea. Can we expand it? You know, or you may go, oh, can I expand this? Maybe I can get a little crew together and make a better film out of it. You know, art is the art is the key. If you have the art, then you have the power. If you have the finished art, if you just have the idea and you're just sitting on it, that ain't gonna do you any good. But I'd say, you know, when you go to film school, get better material. Until then, use the material you got.
Yeah, like it's good, but like it's not like film school like material. Like the picture ain't very HD-ish. That's the thing about it. Like it's a good story though, so I could submit it.
I would definitely submit it and see where it
Yeah,
goes. Just submit it.
cool. Thank you.
Okay. If anyone just wants to like, you can just feel free to unmute yourself or just kind of raise your hand. Steven, like, I know you went over some online stuff, but I was curious. Have you, I guess, have you had any recent experiences with any of the online festivals that have been occurring right now?
I actually had a screenplay that actually was up for a best drama award. Uh, our our film festival run ended in November 27th was our last film festival, and that was in Warsaw. So right after that, Rona hit, and so I've actually what I've been doing is I've been going through and getting all my clips as an actor from all the films that I have done, and I've been putting those online. So I haven't had any real experience with online film festivals except for a screenplay was entered in one, but I'm interested to see how they shake out.
Yeah, because I think a lot of festivals are free, like you were saying, now that they're online. But it seems kind of hard. I think, I guess, making those connections, although like one thing that I've seen very beneficial is whenever there's like a chat open and there's a lot of attendees, and then people are like really making comments. Like it doesn't, I don't know if it really like helps out the attendees that are chatting away, but it seems to just give maybe sort of a popularity towards like whatever film they're watching. So like for example, when we had one, like if people were commenting, if they like one a lot, they tend to talk a lot about it. Whereas the ones that maybe they didn't really like, they just was kind of like crickets. But I've been to other ones as well where they had chats, and even if it was just one film, like everyone was just kind of like chatting away about the film and just excited about it, and it just kind of makes it wow, like kind of validates my thoughts that this movie is good. And so I don't know if like there was anybody else there that was reading that, maybe it got them excited to like, wow, okay, so all these people love it. Maybe I should need to contact these filmmakers to try to make more movies with them. So like maybe it seems like maybe there's not much networking, I guess, opportunities in terms of the people that are the audience online. But it seems like if you're having your film shown online and just having all those people talk about your film, it could just add more validity to how good your film is, and perhaps just, who knows, I don't know, just raise, I guess, the quality of what you thought you made or something like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And the film festival world goes online, you're going to find new ways of networking, and people are going to find new ways of showing and presenting their films. I know on Amazon Prime, I know there's a watch party, and all those people, you can actually, let's say you get in a film festival, or you even, as an actor, you go to a film festival, you absolutely can look at all those people and you can friend them all on LinkedIn. There's so many ways nowadays to use this material. Whether it's like watching someone's film, being a part of a conversation about a film, that is that's this new technology, and that's the way we're going. And so I think the value is, watching films and learning more, and, getting to know the people who absolutely make those films.
So Mark put something in the chat here, and Mark is saying, what screenplay competitions would you recommend are more legitimate than others? Some screen to be out for the profit. Any favorites I should look into?
I like the Page Film Festival. I think that one's pretty good. Um, the one that I got in was the Big Bear Film Summit. I know Action on Film has a great uh, screenplay division. Nova has a good film screenplay. There's the Nickel. Uh, that's just off the top of my head. I would do a Google search and I would say, what are the top screenplay? No, they're not always free. Um, Actually, what you can do is go on Film Freeway and type in screenplay competitions, and type in, look, just do a click on the free button. Now, you're not going to get the ones that are legitimate and big time for free. But if you're really strapped for cash, I will tell you, sometimes, very rarely though, but sometimes you can get um, a waiver at a film festival. But realize that these film festivals, you know, it's not a money making gig. They got to pay their bills, and that's how they get these film festivals on. So, you know, if you throw 25 at a film festival to have your script in there or your film, um, you know, it's that's not a big deal, you know. So don't be afraid of that, and don't be afraid of the smaller ones either, you know, because you may meet someone who may absolutely make your film, as opposed to winning I won many contests and our scripts never got made. You might actually get your film made. I hope that helps.
And then Krista is asking, what rules are there for regarding posting it on YouTube first or on social media before they are in festivals? Do you have to not publish before entering?
Hi, Krista.
Hi.
Hi. Um, yeah, y'all can feel free to talk to me. I love talking to y'all. If it is a feature, okay, first of all, I would say look at the rules of anything that you're submitting to first, okay? Because if it's a feature, they will not let your film in if it's online. Shorts, they usually don't care, which I learned after the fact, by the way. I was like holding my film like a little virgin. I wouldn't let anyone see it, you know, that had to have a password or whatever. But you also don't want to, it's also about marketing too. If you're at a film festival, you want people to come see your film, and you want to have a mystery around it. So you don't want it to be on YouTube or Vimeo or wherever, iTunes or whatever. You want it to you want to hold it back before it gets into film festivals, and then you can release it. That's what I would say. But there are no rules. There are people who absolutely have their stuff on YouTube and submit it to film festivals, their shorts. But I would say, you know, if you're planning to go to the film festivals, I would say hold off on putting it up on YouTube. Put it on Vimeo with a password protection. That way, if people in the industry want to see it, you can send them a password and tell them don't share it. We did that for the first 3 years, and it's only in the last year that we actually got it on Amazon Prime, and you know, now we have a place for people to go and see it, and we want to keep it on Amazon Prime, so we only have one place of numbers to where people can get the show. Hope that helps.
Did you ever create a teaser or a sizzle reel, or you know, do you recommend that?
I absolutely recommend that. And, you know, that's the other value of being at film festivals. You can ask around, you look at a trailer, go, who did your trailer? And you could actually hire that person to do your trailer. You know, we did have a trailer for That's Opportunity Knocking. It was about 2 minutes, and it was a great calling card as well. People would see that trailer. You guys can all go see the trailer. It's on YouTube. It absolutely showed you what the premise of the film was, didn't give away the whole plot. And it was people would see that and go, oh, I've got to come see your film. We also created a really cute poster. We actually had someone make it for us. And so all those tools, you know, you will get to know people who will help you learn how to do that. You know, that's the value of networking. You can find them online, and you don't always have to pay $1 million for it. There are people who are quite qualified to do it for you know, $200 or $300. You know, depends on the level of your movie and the money that you have.
That's interesting because we have a person that's charging $1,000 for a poster, just to make a poster, and but at the same time they make really good work. So like, you know, it's really interesting how like the wages are just so all over the place. Like people would charge 300 to edit an entire trailer, and they have people charging $1,000 to make a poster. But Melissa is asking, how is it possible to network at an online film festival? Question mark.
The way it's possible to network online on the online film festivals is go to their website, go to their social media, find out who is being shown in the film festivals, look up their booklet, look up the filmmakers, hit them up on LinkedIn. You know, there's always like some kind of chat or a Zoom. Join those. Network in any way that you possibly can online. You know, just it's all about relationships. Just reach out to people and go, hey, I saw the trailer of your film. It looks really interesting. You know, if you watch someone's film, don't be shy. You know, us creatives, we're not, you know, we're not antiques sitting in a museum. You know, we are flesh and blood people, and we like to know other people who know our work. And if you watch someone's film, reach out to that director and say, I really respected your work. It was really great. You know, if you don't like their work, don't say anything, you know? So I would say online, it's a little easier because you don't have to go anywhere. They're all right there. You know, the film festivals list their films. They list the directors. They list the actors. If you see an actor you like, reach out to them. I mean, not everyone is rep by William Morris and will close the door on you. Some actors are I'm very friendly. If a filmmaker comes up to me and say, I want to use you, I'd say, send me the script. Let's see if we can work together. I think many filmmakers are that way. Occasionally you're going to have the a-hole who is not interested in you and doesn't want to talk to anybody except, you know, the famous people in Hollywood. But I don't think at indie film festivals that's the case. I think at indie film festivals, people do want to get to know you. They do want to know each other. So I would say it's a matter of reaching out to people, but reach out to people in a genuine way. Don't just reach out to people and go, help me, help me, help me. Reach out to them and say, hey, I like your work. You know, like Krista. I met Krista because we taught a workshop together in where was it? Where was that? Greece or something? Or
no, I'm still there. I'm in Gran Canaria, Spain.
Yeah, she's in Gran Canaria. That's how I met Krista. It wasn't even at a film festival. We taught a workshop
We've never been in the flesh. We've never been in.
But here we are in the flesh.
But we've never like shook hands. Like we've always been virtual.
I know, and that's the great thing about technology is it's giving you more tools. And I say to actors, and I say to directors, I say to anyone in the industry, do not shy away from the networking tools. Do not shy away from your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram. Use it, because I'm going to tell you an inside secret here. I worked at Warner Brothers, and they all use that. That's a big, big thing. Ellen DeGeneres, she gets a lot of stuff out through social media, and they all do. So use it. Don't be shy. Use it to promote your work. Use it to meet other people. And actors are like, oh, I just want people to recognize my work. And I just, you know, I remember working with an actress. I remember she showed me her website. I said, honey, where's your reel? She said, oh, well, it's on page 2. I'm like, honey, a casting director is not going to go to page 2. That needs to be on page 1. They need to see what you've got in a second. And that's the thing with film festivals. Don't hide your light under a bushel at these film festivals. Get out there and tell them what you've done, because it is a big thing. And I don't care whether you're an actor. I don't care whether you're a writer. I don't care whether you're a director or cinematographer. If you're not telling people what you've done, you're not going to be hired. Because the whole point of this is for you to be hired for your work and to get more work from that work and to build a body of work. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I hope it doesn't sound preachy, but many actors and I know creatives want to hide and cower and go, oh, well, I'll just have a little film. It's a film. It's a big deal. Use that. That's what the industry does. They promote their stuff. Watch a film coming out and watch how many months in advance they're doing the spin on that. How many actors are going on late night TV. Watch that and model that, because the studios have been doing it since 1902 or whatever, and they know what they're doing. Anyone else?
And what about actors networking at film festivals?
Krista, you brought up a really interesting point. When I went to my first film festival, I remember the director said, well, you know, film festivals are hard for directors because a lot of actors don't go out and support their films. And I thought he was full of crap, pardon my French. But I found out at film festivals that actors don't really, they're ashamed. They don't want to get out and hustle for their film. And I found that the films that are really successful have actors who are out there promoting the film. Rather, most actors won't do it unless they're paid. I was forced to do it because I was absolutely working as the producer of the movie. So I absolutely, like I said, I was 1.5 years before I started winning awards and even getting nominated for awards. You know, I didn't even really care that people knew that I was even in the movie. But I was out there promoting it constantly. And I think that's how I started getting awards, is because people started to see me and they go, oh, you're that funny little guy in the movie. Oh, well, we're going to give you an award. So what I would say as actors, if your film is in a film festival and if it's being shown anywhere that you can get to, get there. That will help you more probably than running around to 20 auditions, unless you're big time and you're auditioning for great TV shows. I would say the value of networking and getting to film festivals for actors is imperative that they go.
And Val had a question, Val Ortiz.
Hi, Stephen.
Hi, Val.
How are you? I'm so excited that you're here today.
I'm excited that you're here and we're both here.
Yeah, thank you so much for spending time with us and speaking on this topic. I'm extremely passionate about networking. It's important in any industry, right? My background is technology, and I've built applications, I produce games, and now I produce films. And I love the fact that you touched on pushing your stuff out there. My production company is called Push You Productions. And I believe that in networking, you have to push yourself. You have to push yourself and your product to be able to get your name out there, and not in a horrible, disgusting way. And some people think, oh, you're pushing me, but in a really nice, like, this is who I am, and you need to see me because everyone is original and needs to bring your stuff out there. So really, really valuable words of wisdom you've bestowed upon us here today. And wanted you to touch a little bit on how to push people in the right direction without seeming overbearing when you're communicating with them on social media. Like, I met you on LinkedIn, and we had a great conversation about your book and what you were doing, what you were working on, if you were willing to come on the Dallas Film Alliance to speak. So LinkedIn, amazing tool. Give us some examples of how you would write these messages to people you've never met before and kind of kick off that introduction.
Well, I usually just say, hi, my name is Stephen. I I have I keep it I keep it short and sweet. Um, when I'm reaching out to a casting director, I keep it short and sweet. I say, I'm the younger Leslie Jordan. When I'm pitching people my film, I say, this, if it's a director, I'll say, this film is sort of like your film. And I keep it very short and sweet to say, you might like my film, or you might like my work. You might enjoy my writing. So what I say is you phrase it in a way, you try to phrase it in a way where it's going to pique their interest and to where they're going to click on it, where they're going to go, I wonder what this guy's about. I wonder what a younger Leslie Jordan, what's that? People will click on that. Or, for our movie, a screwball comedy about two robbers and three roommates, and it all goes awry. People go, what? You want to create things that are interesting and little sound bites. And that's where you can actually get together with other filmmakers and go, hey, what do you think my film's about? What did you take from that? And they'll say, well, it was really about the economy. You can go, well, that's an interesting spin. Let me, this thing's about the economy. So it's any angle. I don't know if I'm answering your question directly, Val, but the way I do it is I just try to connect with someone on a level that where they're pursuing their art or what their passion is. And I try to follow in the wake of that and try to let that hopefully open a win-win type of door.
You definitely hit it. Thank you. That's really important.
Yeah, I've been learning a lot about using LinkedIn myself from Val Ortiz because I never really used it, and it's crazy how many connections we have made just through LinkedIn alone. If you ask Val, she's probably like, it's not crazy, it's great, but I'm just like, what? Matt Martinez is raising his hand.
Hi, Matt.
Yeah, hi. So yeah, earlier you said something about reaching out through social media, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So say I just run across a filmmaker's account on social media. I happen to, and I like his work. Should I reach out to him and start making a relationship with him?
Absolutely, you should. You should say, I loved your work and I would like to maybe work with you in the future.
Right.
That's how things are done, and some people, I'm in LA where it's crowded and people, use a lot of elbow. They don't want you in. There's William Goldman who wrote a book called Adventures in the Screen Trade. He said, their job is to keep you out. Your job is to get in. And believe me, there are people who don't want you in. That goes back to my earlier talk about the studios. They don't want us indie people in because it's a closed loop, but your job is absolutely to get in. So yeah, if you meet someone online, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and they're a filmmaker, absolutely reach out to them. There's no crime in that at all. And I used to think there was, by the way. I used to be the shyest person in the world when it came to promoting my art and myself, because I used to think that my talent was enough. And it's only in retrospect that I realized that it wasn't, that I actually had to get out there and tell people about my work.
No, yeah, I can attest to Hollywood not wanting you in. I've tried through IMDb Pro finding their emails, and they say we don't accept unsolicited material. That's
Yep.
so true.
Yep, that is, and there's a reason they do that. That's not only because they're snobby and they don't want you in. That's really, I've worked on the other side of that. That's because they don't, for the most part, they don't want to be sued. If they have something that's in development that's sort of like your idea, they don't want to be sued for stealing your idea. So it's not always a bad thing. So I would say, um, you know, you can always reach out to indie filmmakers to read your script. You don't, it doesn't have to be the studio. You know, everyone in Hollywood is so obsessed about the studio and all that. And I know why, because it's a lot of money. And if you make it, I mean, you make it. But there are many, many channels for filmmakers that are local. Dallas. I wish I had known about the Dallas Filmmakers Alliance when I was in Bedford, because I might have actually gone to Dallas and actually have been in some films, you know, as opposed to doing theater. So, you know, yes, get out there and reach out to people. You know, if they slam the door in your face, go to another door.
Thank you. Wait, does A24 count, or is that still like a major studio, or like
Wait, what?
IFC? A24.
I don't know.
Okay, cool. Exactly. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, let's see. We have a question from Brett. It's kind of not off the name. I think it's Braden. I live in Texas, where most of the film festivals. I live in Texas, where are most of the film festivals for actors to start networking?
Well, you would actually probably have that question answered by Alex or Val, because they're actually in Dallas. You can always go on the Film Freeway, and you can absolutely go on there and look at film festivals, and they will tell you. They'll tell you. You know, you can do a search for Dallas film festivals, and that'll tell you all the film festivals that are in in Dallas. I hope that, and you can absolutely go to those. I mean, as an actor, you don't have to be in a film. It's good if you are, but you can actually just buy a ticket and go to the film festival and watch films and you know, get to know people.
I have to say, you should definitely submit to the Dallas Film Alliance Film Festival. We have lots of eyes on our festival, especially the upcoming one, because it's online. I work with award-winning producers, and now it's really, really hot because of COVID, right? They don't have any material, and we're actually scouting for streaming media right now that is ready to go and be able to, you know, pay out on it, because there's not much production happening. So start putting your stuff out there.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And then it looks like everyone's sharing their social media on the chat. So yeah, feel free to do that. I'm trying to also follow you on social media. But anybody else have any other questions? Melissa, I see that was Film Freeway. So I'll put it in the chat.
Yeah. And also Stage 32 has, you know, you can go on to Stage 32, and they actually have an online film festival as well. And you can also, through Stage 32, hook up with people who are in your area in Dallas. But Film Freeway is a good place if you don't know where to start and you're looking at your town. You know, we started in LA, and literally we only got about maybe 10 film festivals that were in this region. Most of our film festivals were out and away, and we got to travel, so that was good.
Stephen, tell us how to find you and your books and what projects
Well,
you're working on or upcoming seminars. We'd love to hear
you
that.
can, okay, you can find me at on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. It's Stephen Foster, Stephen Foster, Foster. You can find our film, That's Opportunity Knocking, on Amazon Prime. But if you type in C. Stephen Foster, you'll find my website and you'll find my social media, and that's how you guys all can connect with me. I'm not shy. I like when people ask me questions. How do I do something? If I don't know, I certainly will guide you to someone who can know, who does know, who might know.
That's awesome. Thank you, Stephen. Can you
Thank you.
give us your path from going to film festival to film festival to making it on Amazon? I don't know if I missed that in your story, but I'd love to hear how that happened.
Well, the film festival to film festival was literally, we started locally in Los Angeles. We started to win a couple of awards, but we didn't get into a lot of the film festivals in Los Angeles. And we ended up getting into one up in Oakhurst, which is by Yosemite. And through that one, we met Fernando Mico, who runs the Nova Film Festival in Virginia. But he introduced us to someone named Del Weston, who runs the Action on Film, which is in Las Vegas. Now, once we got into Action on Film and we won the Best Comedy Scene, doors started opening to many, 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 many film festivals. So I would highly recommend all you filmmakers definitely submit to Action on Film and definitely submit to Nova Film Festival and go there if you can. And also what I would say is, if there's anyone out there, I would suggest you submit to Fusion International Film Festival or Fusion Film Festival International. That one's in Europe. They run 4 film festivals and now they're going online. All these places are open to indie new filmmakers. So, and they're good for networking. That's how we built our network. And how we got on Amazon is at one of the film festivals we were in, I think it was at Cannes, we met someone who reached out to us about putting our film up on Amazon. And so that's how that happened. She reached out to us because we'd won so many awards, and she put it on Amazon.
Amazing story. So inspiring.
Yeah, but really it was so much about being out in film festivals and networking that we met all those people, and we met the person to get it on Amazon. And before that, we met someone who was a distributor, and that went nowhere, and we were all hopeful. I mean, there are peaks and valleys on your filmmaking film festival journey. Our first film festival that we got in was the Joshua Tree International Film Festival, and it was canceled. That was our first film festival, and we were just defeated. We were like, oh my God. But we kept submitting, and we ended up getting into so many film festivals that at some point we couldn't even keep track of them all.
Okay, so I guess let's see. Anybody has any other questions to add? Okay, so I think with that said, if nobody else has any questions, Stephen, I guess, if you want to go ahead and do any final thoughts, feel free to share with us. We'd love to hear what else you might want to add.
Okay, final thoughts are be proud of your work, stand by it, don't give up. If you don't get into the big film festivals, do not worry about it. Submit to the smaller ones. They're equally valid, and you'll probably get more attention and more action there. And what I tell my actors, and I'll tell you as filmmakers and writers, never give up. Never give up.
Awesome. Thank you, Stephen. I agree with that. So everyone else, thank you for showing up to our event today. As always, just go to filmindallas.org if you want to keep up with any other events that we have upcoming. Usually, again, most of them are free, so just feel free to join us. We have another one next month, among other things. So with that said, we'll keep in touch with you all. Hope you can keep on creating. I know COVID has made it a little harder, but just practice safe sets. And with that said, I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. And Stephen, thanks once again, and you have a great time.
Don't forget to
Thank
do
you.
networking. Reach out to Stephen, Val, and Alex on LinkedIn and all social media platforms. Thank you all for joining.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Stephen.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Wait, is your LinkedIn just your name, Stephen?
Yeah, it's C. Stephen Foster.
Hold up. Just Stephen Foster?
Yeah, C. Stephen Foster.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you put it in. Oh, how nice.
I'm searching it up still, but like, you gotta
Okay.
go.
That was great.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all.
Thank you, Stephen.
Thank you. You guys are great.